Welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing, sixth grade? This is what you requested, so we've got it here. I will still be on for the video, or no, will be on for the Google Meet at our regular time. You do not have to be there. It is whether or not you want to. This video is kind of in place of the Google Meet, if you would like it to be. So, the inner planets are what we're talking about today. You can see that we have Mercury closest to the sun. Then we have Venus. You can see its color. Then we have our own Earth. And then we've got Mars. All right. These are the four planets we'll be talking about all day today. Now, Mercury is the first one we talk about. We're going to tell you a few things about each of them, so hopefully you'll remember these specific things about each. All right. First and foremost, we have the closest planet to the sun. That is what Mercury is known for. And it's known for changes. All right, you can see that. That's the sun in the background with the shadow of Mercury over it. And this is the way we kind of prepare for that. All right, following next, we're going to tell you there's many craters, and it's kind of like the surface of the moon. There's not a big atmosphere for Mercury because it is so close to the sun, it really can't maintain an atmosphere. All right, and there's a picture of Mercury. There's no true atmosphere, like I did say before, and it is the smallest planet. It is the second smallest if you count Pluto, which our book does, but we need to be up with what the scientists say. They've argued and decided Pluto, no longer a planet, but a dwarf planet. So the smallest planet is Mercury. Then you can see it here, and you can see the size of it being quite small compared to things like Jupiter, Saturn, and all the rest. It's quite small. All right. The next one we're going to learn about is Venus. All right. Venus is sometimes called Earth's twin, and we'll find out why. It is the second planet from the sun. You can see it there in its pattern. The second planet from the Earth's sun, or from the sun, right? Not the Earth's sun, everybody's sun. All right. It is called Earth's twins because the size and mass are very similar for the two. All right. It has sulfuric acid in the clouds. Sulfuric acid is very dangerous. All right. Oh, went backwards apparently. And it can be a danger to human skin in that. That is a burn mark you see on a child's skin because they got sulfuric acid on them. All right. It has extremely hot temperatures because it has a very thick atmosphere that traps in all the heat. It has that big greenhouse effect. You can see the yellow arrows here. The light coming in bounces off, but it gets trapped in by that atmosphere, and that heat stays in. Kind of think of like a car in summer. The light comes in, but the heat can't get out, so it gets very warm. All right, here's a little bit further explain on the greenhouse effect. All right, sun's energy enters the atmosphere, and then is not able to escape the atmosphere, which heats up the planet. They worry about it on our planet. So you can see light coming in. Well, when light comes in, it hits something, there's heat. Heat then is trapped in, and our planet heats up. Same concept, that's why you can have plants all year round. Light comes in, light can still go out, but the heat stays in, and that's what allows it to be warm enough to grow tropical plants in the middle of winter, even in places such as Illinois. All right, Earth. Now this one you may know a little bit about. It is the third planet from the sun. You can see it right here. It has a distinct blue and green to it. It is called Venus's twin because size and mass are similar. Yes, they're twins. All right. It is 150 million, that's what the MIL stands for, kilometers from the sun. This is known as 1 astronomical unit, an AU. They use these 150 million kilometers as 1 unit to try to measure out spaces between planets so you don't have such vastly large numbers. All right, so you can see over here on the top right, Earth 1 AU from the sun, or you can see Mars is 1.52. That's a lot easier than saying, oh, Earth is 150 million kilometers from the sun, and Mercury is 750 million kilometers from the sun. So it's a way to minimize those numbers, but you can easily figure out the distance. It has much liquid water. This is a big deal because we're the only planet in the solar system to do that. All right. Then you can see the liquid water there. That's what makes us distinctive. It has livable temperatures, on average 59 degrees Fahrenheit from one pole to the other when we're taking all the worldly temperatures. You can see the blue is the coolest, getting down to the deep red in the middle, which is the warmest, and that averages out to about 59 degrees. All right? And those poles being colder than the middle is important to a lot of our ecosystems. Okay? Now we move on to Mars. With Mars, it is the fourth planet from the sun. Guess what you're going to see next? Yes, Mars is right here. The big thing that we kind of leave out in this section, between Mars and Jupiter, the space is quite a bit different. There's a big space, and that is where an asteroid belt resides. Okay? It's kind of like the dividing line between the inner and outer planets, that asteroid belt. Okay? It is red, it has a reddish color from the iron oxide. All right, farm boys, iron oxide, you probably know what this is, or, farm girls, too. All right, in the soil. Iron oxide is just a fancy name for rust. That's what gives it its reddish tint, is the rust in the soil. Okay? It does have frozen water at the poles, but no liquid water. This was one made some scientists wonder, was there once life on Mars? You can see the frozen water there, up here at the top. Okay, the polar caps. All right. It's the only other planet to have any type of water, except now they do believe they found some moons of some of the outer planets that have frozen water, but we'll see. All right. It is the home of Olympus Mons. You can again see this on that map over here. Olympus Mons is the largest volcano in all of our solar systems. It is known to our universe as being the largest one as well, but it is inactive. All right, it is inactive as far as we know. Now, how do we find all this stuff out? Well, the space probes. You talked about Viking 1 and Viking 2. There's some important ones. Viking 1 and Viking 2 were pretty simple, and they went out, all right, late in the 60s, early in the 70s, and they're still going, one of them. Pathfinder was another one. You can see the second picture of Pathfinder. So this is Viking 1 and Viking 2. And we got Pathfinder over here. Next, we have Global Surveyor. Global Surveyor, it surveyed the globe of ours and other planets as well to figure out what was there. And we have Odyssey, all right? You can see Odyssey come up as the name comes up, all right? And one last one we'll talk about here is part of your homework, is to choose one of these 5 devices from space exploration and tell me the year it was launched. So the reason I say 5, because Viking 1 and Viking 2 are 2 separate ones. Tell me the year it was launched. So if you pick Viking 1, tell me the year it was launched. Tell me the purpose, the reason for the mission. 3, tell me what it has accomplished. So what did it do? Oh, it took pictures of the planets and sent them back to Earth. Tell me where it currently is in space, and tell me the cost to build it. So you don't have notes per se, but you've got this last page. Take a screenshot, click, and that is your homework, as well as the Google Sheet that is set out there. All right, folks, have a good rest of the weekend.